Hi guys, welcome back. Normally when I do a voiceover, it's me teaching, and I guess this is kind of like teaching, so let's get into it. One of my recent shorts got a lot of attention and a lot of comments. I titled it, I don't know why y'all hate haircuts so much. Hair grows. The title was clearly clickbait because I was cutting fake hair. I had extensions in and I was cutting them into a style. Some of the commenters were upset that I was cutting fake hair while talking about cutting real hair, obviously. But it got attention, and that was my point. Besides, I had to cut my real hair in order for it to be short enough to even add those extensions in the first place. But I get it, they didn't know that, and that's not really what I'm here to talk about anyway. Because the fact is, nobody hates haircuts. That video wasn't for people who hate haircuts, but people who are actually afraid of haircuts. And that would be people like me, black girls. And that's really what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about why we have this fear of haircuts and why we don't have to have it anymore. I think the most obvious reason why we're afraid of haircuts is because we haven't ever really had long hair as a group. Like, some people are able to get their afro hair to grow long, but it takes a lot of work and a lot of patience. And so very many of us have not ever had really long hair. So it makes sense that when we finally figure out how to get our hair to grow long, strong, and healthy, we don't want to part with that. And it would be cool if hair grew to a length that we liked and just stopped. But unfortunately, and also very fortunately, hair just keeps growing. And since locks do not experience the breakage at the ends that require them to get trimmed, there's no need or immediate need to keep the ends trimmed. But once locks get past the waist length, the growth does slow down. However, I wouldn't consider that to be a good thing. See, if you start your locks the natural way without any extensions, you will find that your hair never feels really heavy to you, except maybe when it's wet. And that's because the strength of your neck grows with the length of your hair. So your neck never realizes that your hair is getting heavier. But the follicles do. And whenever follicles get traumatized, they slow down the growth. And some of the follicles will simply release the hair that is putting too much weight on them. If that happens enough times, it can cause permanent thinning at the scalp. Those follicles stop growing hair. And when that happens, people generally tend to cut all of their locks off. I saw a video the other day of a lady getting her locks cut off after 18 years. That was likely 8 or 9 years of healthy growth before it got to her waist. The last 10 years were of it growing slowly, I'm sure, and slowly thinning out. It was only a little bit past her butt, but it was very thin, visibly thin, all over. Once it gets to that point, there's nothing you can do to fix it. Most of the things I teach are about preventing breakage, and haircuts are no different. You can keep your locks for 18 years and then be forced to cut them all off because of thinning, or once they get to your waist, you can start playing with different types of haircuts and keep your locks forever. Locks are not a hairstyle that you keep until you can't do it anymore. Locks are a change in lifestyle. You've changed the structure of your hair. You've made it stronger so that it can grow. Once you realize that it can grow, there's no point in being afraid of haircuts because it's just gonna grow right back. If you're a black girl and you don't have locks, you should probably be very afraid of getting a haircut because who knows what the next thing you might do that will cause the ends to break. But if you've got locks, there's nothing to be afraid of. Having them thin out because they get too heavy for the follicles is way scarier. Waist-length hair is longer than most of us can grow without locks. And you might not know this yet, but hair that's longer than your waist is a pain to live with anyway. See you guys on the next one.